Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City, and today we'll be watching the trailer to 1987's Critical Condition, starring Richard Pryor. What condition will he be in? Is it critical? Well, I mean, it's critical to the film because he's the star of the film, so I believe his condition would inform the premise. Nevertheless, without any further ado, let us watch the trailer to 1987's Critical Condition. Paramount, not a bad start.
Empire State Hospital, an institution devoted to saving lives.
Bob Saget?
But tonight, a storm has isolated it, leaving it in the hands of one man.
The ER doctor's gonna be here soon.
Who can mean the difference between life and death.
Dr. Slattery?
Dr. Slattery? Yeah, doctor, what's your
Why
problem?
is he so sweaty?
I don't know, let's go! Let's go heal them suckers! What the hell is that, man? I don't like the way that sounds. I don't like that one either.
Who is this maniac?
When
Dr. Slattery.
It's real big, the bone sets harder.
No wonder he gets the big bucks.
I'm gonna pass myself off as a doctor. I couldn't pass myself off as a lunatic.
He's got one night to learn to play doctor,
I dropped the heart on the floor!
Well, that's okay. We're working on the spine.
or a lifetime in prison to think about it.
Right about that.
Dr. Slattery, what are you trying to bull around here? Who are you?
Will somebody please tell me what the hell is going on?
We got the greatest jobs
Why
in
is
the
he
world. We
so
can park
sweaty?
anywhere we want.
Not necessary.
Richard Pryor is turning every emergency
Not this again. Gotta be kidding. Dr. Joffrey! It's emergency. Take care of it.
into a critical condition.
What seems to be the trouble?
It hurts all over.
All over.
Critical condition.
Doctor, make it all better. Cool off.
Now available from Paramount. I'll say, okay, first of all, can I upset everyone by saying I did not enjoy one movie that Richard Pryor was in? He is fantastic as a comedian. He is fantastic on television. I do not like one movie. I think he stunk in almost every movie I've ever seen him in. I don't... Maybe it's just not the right vehicle. Sometimes they don't seem as loose and smart enough for him, and I believe this is like the perfect example. This feels like a Jerry Lewis movie in the sense that once you set up the premise, it's just a string of doctor-patient sketches and psych gags, and like that's the movie. So my understanding, first of all, the Empire State Hospital, is it New York? We're not gonna say. Kind of the way Gotham is New York, but like not really. But you can also say it's New York, and they'll have the landmarks in the back. And they're like, no, it's not New York. This is the Empire State Hospital. Very big. I also want to point out a young Bob Saget looks fantastically credible as a serious straight man doctor. I would have watched him on an ER or a St. Elsewhere. You're watching fucking Howie Mandel. Why wouldn't you be watching Bob Saget? It's not a big deal. I don't think it was a big stretch at this time. I think he has a little range here, and he looks hip and fit, and he's gliding across that hospital set. It's my understanding that lightning strike, any movie whose premise hinges on a lightning strike, Freaky Friday included, which is like the primary one, should be banned. I don't want to see another movie that goes, and then there's this bolt of lightning. That's not a sufficient explanation for anything. Really. What are the odds? It's just like, don't even explain it at that point. If your excuse is lightning, just don't say anything at all. Just say the power went out. I don't know. What difference does it make? So there's a lightning strike, and it obviously hits a fuse box, and things go down. And the entire hospital, I guess, loses power, or they can't leave. Something. I don't know why the hospital would not stop. Why couldn't they go out and get doctors? And they're not in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they have police. It's the Empire State Hospital. They have all the resources in the world, one would assume. But obviously, they're having tremendous difficulty here. Dr. Slattery, Richard Pryor, was institutionalized. Maybe there's an institution on site on one wing of the hospital, and because of the power outage, he escaped. Doesn't want to go to jail or get thrown back in the institution. So he tells everyone he's Dr. Slattery, who maybe was killed by lightning. Who am I to say? Richard Pryor seems to be really sweaty and oily through this whole film. He starts that way, and he continues that way. At no point does he ask for electrolytes or pass out from dehydration, but he is sweating his ass off in this picture. They obviously really wanted to get the name over, because 8 people, there's a nice supercut of people saying Dr. Slattery. He also has, Richard Pryor kind of makes a Don Knotts face sometimes. You ever hear about how Eddie Murphy, when he was doing like 48 Hours or whatever, he watched Bruce Lee and he would imitate Bruce Lee when he held a gun? I feel like Richard Pryor watched Don Knotts. There's a lot of like, I'm a doctor. Like that kind of vibe. And not only does he not know how to be a doctor, which of course is acceptable given that he's not a doctor, he seems to be unable to do anything, including washing his hands and like using a stethoscope. Like, I don't believe, oh, he's so smart and witty and funny, and then he can't wash his own hands. Like, could we have raised the bar a little higher here and give him a little more medicine to work with? This is the Jerry Lewis part where everything is, even the knee thing, I gotta hit your head. Like, Dr. Slattery, you've been to a doctor before. Whether you're institutional, you've been around more doctors probably than the average person. So you should know this. You should have a decent grasp at the basics of what is going on here. And then, of course, is that scene of just jars bursting, medical, the labs. Or what are they, all hearts and brains? This is going to be a disaster. And there was a guy's heart fell out, and the guy said, well, that's not a big deal. We're working on the spine anyway. But of course, what are you going to do with a patient such as that? And obviously, there's one friend who knows what's going on because he explained to him, I don't want to go to jail. And I guess this is one of those Patch Adams type scenarios where even though he's, I'm sure, killed a few people during the course of this evening, unintentionally, but still, they must be dead. He's helped so many more that I'm sure at the end of this, they said, okay, we'll let you go free as an inept man who impersonated a medical doctor, gave medical advice, and operated on people. And of course, all the props, like, it's not even within the realm of how this works. The blood pressure thing just ballooned. Like, that does not remotely happen. And this man is just sweating. And of course, at the end, that girl is so attractive, which is incredibly uncomfortable to watch now, that he doesn't know how to use the stethoscope. He's shaking and he's checking around. And what else I love about it is that all of this is done completely in the dark due to the lightning strike. And the electricity people, the electric department, is working as hard as they can. I also want to point out, because it is really, really unnecessary, the helicopter scene. You know you're writing a lackluster film when you have Richard Pryor in a hospital, a slew of medical possibilities for you to fuck with, and they ran out of enough ideas that one writer was looking out the window and went, what if there's a helicopter? And then he gets in the helicopter and he can't fly the helicopter. Well, of course he couldn't fly the helicopter. And also, even if this was the real Dr. Slattery, why would that doctor be able to fly a helicopter? I don't know. I'm thoroughly disappointed. I'm disappointed with almost every Richard Pryor movie I've ever seen. Despite loving him, I would like to make that clear. I fucking try. I do not like these. The John Knotts face, the Jerry Lewis premise, and then it's Richard, and it's like this, like 20 other fantastic things you could be doing. Why have you chosen this? Good for Bob Saget, though. I will certainly say that. But bad for me, because I will never watch this movie in full.